coming back. This is going to be my first political debut as far as talking about
We're
North
about
Korea
5 millimeters away from
thing that's going on.
nuclear
Not
strikes
taking
on
away
North
from
Korea.
Harvey, but
Because if you're going to hit that militarized state,
but yeah, I mean, like I said, there's so many more important things we could be talking about other than this bullshit that's happening in North Korea. I'm watching Alex Jones, and I'll be honest with you, I don't like some of the way he comes off, but you know, I think he's honestly trying to speak to us correctly. I know if I'm looking from side to side, just want to let you know that I got two screens, well, three screens, but I'm looking at one to see how the content turns out. So hopefully that's not a problem. But yeah, let's get on with it and listen to what he talks. And I'm basically just going to be making commentary about what he says.
with all its nuclear weapons and missiles and 100,000 pieces of artillery, bearing down, aiming there at South Korea, and their ICBMs pointed at the United States and more, if you're going to preemptively stop them when they're saying, we've got missiles aimed at you, we're going to attack you, we're going to come after you, we're going to annihilate you, under international law, under common sense, under basic brain cells, if somebody loads a gun in front of you, test fires it into a wall, then starts shooting it at your feet and saying, I'm going to reload and blow your head off, or I'm going to shoot you right in the heart, or I'm going to shoot you up between the legs. At that point, you'd have to be crazy not to take action. Yeah, look at the headlines on Drudge Report. We'll punch them up.
I'm going to pause it here because I just like to say that, you know, first and foremost, this should never be happening in the first place. The problem is, and I mean, I'm not a person that gets into conspiracy theory or anything like that, but I'm a person with common sense, and this shit right now, this in particular, should not even have come into fruition. This should have been cut in the bud right from the get-go. Unfortunately, we had Obama in, and we had the deals with China and all kinds of other things. And this is what we've allowed to happen, us as a people. We could have stopped this, but unfortunately we allowed Obama to get in. We had Bush before him. And then you had the Clintons, and we all know about the Clintons. I can go on with that for hours. But the point is, it's happening. Now let's see where this goes here.
Kim Powell, North Korea's sixth and most powerful nuke test of a hydrogen bomb, and the experts, the nuclear physicists, engineers, and seismologists say it appears to be just what they said, a powerful hydrogen thermonuclear detonation. A perfect success, they're calling it. Yes, they're being given the technology from Pakistan and others. North Korea claims test of hydrogen bomb for long-range missile a success, and now they claim they've got the casing to load it on the tip of the ICBM. Now, a few weeks ago, they said they were going to fire missiles at Guam, and Trump said, go ahead and do that, and we're going to have to preemptively strike you. Now, here's what's so concerning, in a bad way and a good way. China and Russia are going, okay, we totally condemn them. You're right. We may have to do something. North Korea, you're really asking for it. We're not going to do anything if you strike North Korea, but we really don't want you to. So they've gone from a posture of, you better not do it, we might do something, to absolutely being hands-off, backing away. Because the North Korean dictator is out of his mind. Mattis, this just came out 30 minutes ago. It's on Infowars.com, Newswars.com, PrisonPlanet.com right now. Mattis, massive, that's the Secretary of Defense, massive, this is a quote, massive military response if North Korea threatens the U.S. or its allies, which it's constantly doing. And he's been the guy not saber-rattling. He's been the guy trying to de-escalate things, and now he's saying, okay. I mean, just last week they said, let's go to the table, North Korea. What do you want? And they said, what do we want? We have a demonic, vampiric chipmunk who can't even hardly walk, who was given hereditary power over a bunch of slaves with a bunch of megalomaniacs around him, and he thinks he's God. His dad died a few years ago. He's all creeping around, all scared at first. Looks like a little kid. Kills a few family members, kills his brother, kills some girlfriends. The little psychopath comes out, and all the other psychopaths in the North Korean regime go, ah. He's like, yes, I'm here. Ah, hit the clowns.
See, now this right here is where I think Alex Jones goes a little too far. Now, I mean, I agree with him. I think the guy's a psychopath. The guy's obviously a psychopath. But in all reality, we don't know what it's like to live in North Korea, but obviously the guy's got... Kim Jong-un has got some... He's got some fucking issues. Okay? I don't even understand how people around him just don't take him out and somebody with some common sense steps in and gets control of the reins in order to end this. Because this is just... It's mind-boggling how, you know, you can live in a country and just allow this to happen. I mean, it's as bad as we got with the SJWs and these Fantifa, and they come out and they parade around. And I fortunate for me, I live in upstate. Well, I'm not going to say where I live. The point is, where I live, none of this would ever happen. None of this. If these people ever came out, they'd probably be shot. More than likely. And the cops would definitely not allow this to happen. But back to the subject of as far as North Korea goes, like I said earlier, this shouldn't even be happening. This could have been dissolved a long time ago. We should have came in there with force. I don't care, from 1950 with the North Korean War. None of this should be happening. We've allowed it to happen. Not we necessarily, but our government has. You know, and I know we have trades with China. That's got to end. It's got to end. Our stuff needs to be made here. We got to create jobs here. We don't need China making everything for us. I hate going to the store and everything I see is made in China, made in China, made in China. You buy jeans, they're made in India or freaking Mexico or some stuff like that. Why can't I get something that's made here? The unfortunate part about it is if we do get something that's made here, it costs way more. And the problem is if we buy something from those countries, it's made like shit. Anything that China makes, it's shit. Plain and simple. It's garbage. It's going to fall apart. Nike shoes. You're paying $110 for a shoe that's made in Indonesia or something like that. They're not the quality they used to be. I don't even bother anymore. It's like, what's the point? I'm not paying $110 for something that's made in wherever. An American didn't get paid for it. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Like I said, this is an opinionated show. I'm just giving my opinions based on what I see and the quality of the product. And I'm sorry. Everything you buy from China is shit. Plain and simple. That's why they have people literally jumping. They're jumping out of their workplaces. They have to put safety nets down just to catch them. So when they jump out of a freaking window, they don't get killed. And then what is it? Do they get shuffled right back in after they try to kill themselves? Or do they get medical help? Who knows? I don't know. They don't go further into that subject. Regardless. Okay, back to what we're talking about here. Here's a little more of Alex.
It's here for real. Hit the clown with nuclear weapons.
Goblins.
So whatever dark force has crawled into him, it's in control. Looks like a big, fat, demon-possessed chipmunk to me. So here we go. China strongly condemns North Korean nuclear
Don't look
test.
like a
Foreign
chipmunk
ministry.
to me. I think
North Korea
chipmunks
nuclear
are pretty cute.
bomb test. South may deploy most powerful U.S. tactical weapons in response. That's nuclear weapons. They've already tested dropping them last week. Earthquake at North Korea's nuclear test site following hydrogen bomb announcement. North Korea releases photos of reported thermonuclear weapon. With the chipmunk looking at it. Trump and North Korea's moon pledged more pressure on North Korea. Trump to meet security advisors already happened. I was planning to get into very, very positive things happening with the economy, positive things happening with humanity coming together, with the tragedy of Hurricane Harvey. I was planning to get into some of the more serious issues.
You can always do that in the
Congress
future,
about to vote
Alex.
to turn the roads over to driverless cars and what the ramifications of that were going to be. Huge new Comey developments as well. Turns out he'd already cleared the Clintons secretly when he did the fake interviews with them last year. So huge scandal. Comey, Mueller, I mean, they couldn't investigate a stick of bubble gum being stolen. They are some of the most ruthless mafioso Clinton crime family dirtbags imaginable. That's coming up. The EU Commission admits they're trying to open the borders to end white Europe. Just bizarre globalist obsession with ending any sovereign nations and overriding any culture. Largest wildfire in Los Angeles history forces hundreds to evacuate. We're also going to get into, as I was mentioning earlier, massive censorship via the AI systems. Putin says leader in artificial intelligence will rule the world. And now even mainstream news admits
they already
criticizing Google will get you banned, including major news publications like Forbes have been threatened not to criticize Google or get banned.
Hold on, I gotta pause this for a second. This is the thing. People say, oh, well, the government, we want more government control. We want more of this. We want like shit like the Clintons wanted. It's already been done. We don't control anything anymore. Maybe it's starting to turn a little bit. Maybe people are starting to wake up. But in general, I don't think that people are waking up fast enough. I mean, I'll give you a prime example. Like, I talked to my girlfriend about these matters, and she doesn't want to hear nothing about it. She just clams right up. And she's the nicest person. I mean, obviously I'm with her. Obviously, I have feelings for her. But the point of the matter is when I talk to her about these situations, she clams up. So how many other people are clamming up to the fact that they're not getting a grasp on what's going on in reality? They just want to slide along and hope for the best. Well, what happens when something serious happens? When shit starts to really hit the fan. And it's hitting the fan. I mean, we already have these fucking fruitcakes, fucking Antifa, and people fucking protesting. For what? You know, you can go up to these people and try to have a talk with them or debate about them. And they're so just... They don't even have a clue as to what they're talking about. They don't know nothing about history. It's like, what school did you go to? Who is teaching you this? Where did you learn this? Where? Whoever taught you that is a fucking retard. I say retard in the context. I'm not bashing on a person that has an autistic ability, disability. I'm talking about a person that's normal, that was taught by a normal person, and that normal person that taught that normal person to become a full-blown retard. Comedy. Never go full retard. Yeah. If I had an editing video, I'd put in the clip. But I don't at this point. I'll be getting that in the future. But the point of the matter is these people that are being taught by these far-left liberals, and you're allowing your kids to be taught, they're messing your fucking kids' heads up. Because this is what we have to deal with. and none of these people would go to war. Could you imagine? Could you imagine the United States being involved in World War II at this point, and these people were fighting over there? No, fuck that. They'd all just drown themselves getting out of the U-boats, or whatever they were called. I can't remember. But yeah, the boats that were bringing them on the shore during D-Day. They would have just jumped out and fucking and drowned. They wouldn't have fought a fucking ounce. That's what we have nowadays. And these people are trying to basically, as far as I'm concerned, I think they're a waste of breath. I think we need to reboot the United States. We need to reboot it. And the parents are the ones that are going to have to step up in order to reboot it. You have a kid, you have 2 kids, raise them correctly. Raise them correctly. Don't allow them to do stupid shit when they're younger. Don't indoctrinate them, especially towards liberalism. Let them have their own opinion. And that doesn't mean this gender fluid type shit, because that shit's gone completely off the fucking wall. Fucking raise my kid. Oh, I'll let it be a girl or a boy. I see my kid playing with a girl. The kid's playing. It doesn't have any concept of anything. It's a kid. I mean, when I was a kid, I remember the little the farmhouses that I used to set up, and I had the cow and the other little things, and I used to play around with that in my room by myself while my parents were out fucking doing all kinds of crazy shit. I turned out normal, I think. I don't know. Regardless, parents need to step up. Step up. I don't care if you're a single mom or you're a single father. You have control of your kid. You need to teach your kids the right things in life. You can't just let them get taught by the teacher. You're the teacher. The teacher should just be teaching arithmetic, English, social sciences, science, whatever. That's all they should be learning. They shouldn't be learning about, oh, we're gonna take your kid and tell it that it's gender fluid, and it's at first grade and kindergarten they're doing this. Look at what Australia's doing with their safe schools. That's fucking crazy. It's just fucking crazy. I mean, I don't even understand how they're getting away with this. And what kind of fucking parent would allow their fucking kid to be in a situation like that? It's not even. Whatever. All right, let's get back onto this North Korea shit.
So, the season of censorship is certainly here. But first, let's get into North Korea.
Yes, let's do.
The big question is, will Russia and will China stand down if the United States strikes North Korea?
They'll have no fucking
we can take
choice.
Out North Korea, no problem. Yes, that's true. If we're willing to hit them extremely hard up front. I've studied this in depth. I've had the top experts on. And it's crystal clear what we're facing. But the number one issue is, will China and will Russia stand down if the United States preemptively strikes North Korea that is openly threatening its neighbors and the world and successfully tested a thermonuclear hydrogen bomb? The seismographs conclusively show that indeed they do not just have atomic weapons, but now weapons many times stronger. That's number one. Number two, if the United States strikes and Russia and China do not intervene, how strong will the U.S. strike be? Because They've got a 1 million person regular army, a 5 million person auxiliary army, a brainwashed cult, basically, of communist fire ants that are willing and ready to die in human wave attacks. That was documented back in the Korean War, back in the early 1950s. That's still...
And I'm going to pause it there for a second. Yes, back in the Korean War, these people would literally, like, kill themselves just to try to kill a platoon of Marines. Okay, so we don't need ground troops. This is why we've built up our military infrastructure. We don't need troops on the ground. We will, but we bomb the fucking shit out of them. I'm sorry, this place should be fucking nuked. Just nuke the shit out of them. They want to use nukes on us. They say we're going to use them. Guess what? We have the fucking bombs. We have the capability to do that. Now, whether or not China and Russia won't back down, I don't think either one will come after us, because I think it's been massively documented that if both of those were to attack us, yeah, it would be bad for you. It would be bad for us. But we have the capability to attack back. Plain and simple. I think we have spread our military forces too far. We need to coincide, bring that back, and say, you know what? You want to threaten us? We'll be there. We'll come, we'll take you out, and that's it. Plain and simple. That's it. It's just how it is. But we're spread out so far where we don't have the ability anymore to control what we used to back in, like, World War II. You know, the Korean War should have been ended differently with it, instead of an armistice, however you pronounce it. But we should have done it differently. We should have just made them bend the knee at that point. I know I'm quoting fucking Game of Thrones, but we should have just made them bend the knee at that point. To the world. Not just the United States. To the world. Be like, you gotta stop your stupid shit. It's done. It's over. You lost. We're not gonna deal with you. But you can thank the fucking Democrats for allowing this to happen.
Oh, never concluded. We're in a ceasefire. Will there be a total commitment? And I've studied this, and I've had experts on, they've concurred with my own historical research, that you can't beat North Korea with conventional weapons and not have Seoul, South Korea overrun and destroyed, not just by artillery 30 miles away in the DMZ, the militarized zone to the north that marks the demarcation line between the two nations, split by the armistice in 1953. They're going to be able, with rocket attacks and heavy artillery attacks going in and out of tunnels, to lay waste to much of South Korea, killing hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. They've got nerve gas. They've got nuclear weapons. They've got short-range, medium-range, long-range missiles, ICBMs, all thanks to the Clintons and the globalists and their appeasement in the mid-1990s, which is incontrovertible and not debatable. So, number one, will Russia and China stand down? That's the big question, because if they don't, then they'll respond, will respond, it'll escalate to nuclear weapons very quickly, and then all of a sudden the silos and submarines and jets and bombers release their cruise missiles, and it's off to the races. And then, within about an hour of that happening, most human life on Earth and most other life on Earth is going to be living in a radioactive slag heap. And if you ain't dead, you'll wish you're dead real quick. So, number one, will China and Russia stand down?
Let's pause this for a second. That's one of the things I think. It's like people don't really understand if an escalation like this happens. And it's some advice. You got to be prepared for it. You know, you've seen what's going on in Texas with Harvey. Okay, I have a brother and his wife and my two nieces. They live out there. They're in Galveston, Texas. They're right in the midst of it. Fortunately for them, they have good drainage in their area, so they're safe. They're not being overrun. But a lot of bad things are happening. But here's the thing. They can't get gas. They can't get gas. Okay? There's no food. Okay? There's water. That's it. Obviously, a lot of fucking water. But they're still going through it. But fortunately for me and them, you know, they're safe. But if you go through a real thing like this, if this was to happen, and say North Korea has the capability of striking the United States with nuclear bombs, and they're threatening us with it, what are you gonna do? Just sit there and watch? I mean, I'm 43 years old. If this was to happen, I would immediately enlist. I would immediately enlist, and I would. I'm half deaf. I have injuries to my body. I'd still go. I'd go and fuck these people up. I wouldn't just sit there. It's like somebody invading your house. Would you let somebody walk in and kill your wife? Kill your kids? I mean, I know that's going to the extreme, but the point is would you allow that? What would you do? Would you just sit back and watch it? Whether you're a woman or anybody. You know, if you're a woman and you're watching somebody try to kill your husband, what are you going to do? Just sit there and watch? Or are you going to run out the door? Fuck that shit. Grab a pan, whack that guy over the fucking head if you can. Or whack the girl over the head, whoever's trying to do it. That's the point. You know, you can't just sit by idly and watch stupid shit happen and not do anything about it. You know, and people need to know. Write your congressman. Write to these people that you voted in. And if you don't vote, get the fuck out and vote. It doesn't make any sense. You don't do that, you're not an American. You gotta vote. You gotta let your word be known. You don't do that. I'm sorry, but in my opinion, you're a fucking scumbag. You know, I voted this year. I'm not going to say who I voted for because I don't want to get flack for it. You know, because that's none of anybody's business. That's why you have the booths. That's why you go in there and you make your decision, and it's in private. Because you're not obligated to tell anybody. But you made your opinion felt in the best of ways. If you failed and you made the wrong decision, well, then you go back. I mean, this isn't South Park with the fucking, you know, if you haven't watched the episode, you got to watch it. It's when Randy Marsh, he votes for Obama. And he's like, oh, it's going to be great again, great again, great again. He tells his boss to go fuck off. And then the next day when he wakes up and he's sober, he's fired. Because he, you know, got up in his boss's face and said, fuck you, we're going to make America, was it change? Yeah, it was change. Whatever. No, nothing changed. If anything, shit got worse. Regardless. Alright, back to the North Korean shit.
Many indications are they're beginning to realize the U.S. is serious. This isn't the same old game. This has come to a head. And that they need to signal that they're going to stand down. They've signaled they're going to stand down. I'll go over those articles. Does that mean they will? Remains to be seen. Let's stop right there. Go to number 2. Let's say they stand down. Next big problem. We just addressed it. Will Trump hit them with the weapons it takes to destroy their main military force that is on the DMZ? The DMZ. You'll have to, depending on the type of weapons that are going to be used, tactical nuclear weapons, drop.
I'm going to pause this for a second. I got to roll a few cigarettes. Yeah, I'll be right back. 2 seconds. Oh, I'm in my skimpies. Meh. Forgot about that, guys. It's late at night here, and yeah, I'm just streaming. But get back on the subject of what I was talking about as far as these SJWs and these younger kids. I don't know, changing topic a little bit, but you look at it, it's just gone too far. I mean, I don't even understand it. And the thing is when people try to have a conversation with them, and you'll talk facts to them, because they're calling like, oh, you're a Nazi, you voted for Donald Trump, you're a Nazi. Why am I a Nazi? Do you know what a Nazi is? And then they come off with some half-ass comment, and they don't even know what the fuck they're talking about. It's like, apparently you don't know nothing about history. Nazis were extremely socialists, like, and fascists. But yet they're saying anti-fascist. It's like you're doing the same thing that you're protesting against. It's like, hey, I'm gonna protest against abortion, but tomorrow I'm gonna have an abortion. It's just, it's mind-boggling. It's like, how are you thinking this? Like, where do you get that from? I'm a Nazi because I voted for Trump. Oh, I just spilled the beans. But yeah, so if you vote for Trump, you're a Nazi, and you're a racist, and you're a bigot. And if you don't want to have sex with a tranny, you're a bigot. Okay. What if I want to have sex with a woman? Oh, well, that's not normal. Huh? Well, how the hell am I gonna have a kid? Huh? And they don't have no explanation. It's just, I feel like I'm like talking to a bunch of retards. And once again, with the comment of retard, I say that in a way that I'm just getting a gist on. It's like, I don't know. It's nothing that should be taken personally or anything. If you have an autistic kid, that's fine. I use the word autistic. Retard, I can call a normal person a retard if I think they're a fucking retard. Everybody does it. If they don't want to admit it, that's just retarded. That's like if you say someone's fucking gay. Doesn't necessarily mean they're gay. You're just calling them gay. I call my friends gay. I said, oh, you're fucking gay. I think that was a gay comment. They don't think necessarily that I'm calling them gay. Alright. Back to North Korea. Let's get on it. Get on it.
Dozens, if not hundreds, if they're smaller, along those lines to cave in all those tunnels and wipe out the foaming at the mouth, bloodthirsty, crazed Stalinist state. You'll have to hit the major cities command and control. You're not going to have time to sit there and drop, or do we have the forces, 5,000, 2,000, 10,000-pound bombs on top of those command and controls? You're going to have to hit them all with tactical nuclear weapons, cruise missiles, submarine launched, and dropped by fighter bombers and bombers. You're going to have to hit them in the first 5 minutes with hundreds of nuclear weapons. This is what war against a nuclear power looks like. You have to kill, decapitate their entire military in a matter of minutes to ensure complete destruction. They have suicide subs off their coast that are going to conventionally attack Japan and South Korea and other areas. Here's the problem. In a few months, a few years max, they're already going to have Polaris-copied, sea-launched missiles and cruise missiles, which they already have developed. That's why this is a problem. We truly have a maniac like Hitler, but quite frankly, even stupider, who thinks he can actually run around and bluster with everybody. And it's all coming to a head. Japan's not going to put up with it. South Korea's not going to put up with it. And what triggered this? They kicked out their hardline leader in South Korea with dug-up, made-up scandals, like they're trying to do with Trump. And they put in a softie who wanted to appease the North and work on unification. Didn't that blow up in just 3 months? Really nice. Oh, let us appease you. Let us work with you. Just like all the other appeasement did, it's now blown up in South Korea's face, and the appeaser says, okay, we're ready for nuclear war. The word is China and Russia have signaled in the last few months that if it's not nuclear, they won't get involved. Well, they know that is something 100 times worse than Afghanistan, and something that will destroy the South, and something that we basically will probably lose unless we're willing to lose hundreds of thousands of U.S. soldiers. I mean, this will be a big war. This will be a war against a bunch of brainwashed cult members. And the word is, from all my sources is, and I told you this a week ago before it was on the news last week, they're preparing nuclear weapons, tactical nuclear weapons to be dropped from fighter bombers, and cruise missiles in a preemptive strike to take out the DMZ while simultaneously the capital is hit as well. And their ports. And we've got submarines and submarine hunters, and everything has to be targeted. You have to be ready, and you have to hit them while they're still sitting ducks, not once they're in a combat mode.
It won't matter.
So, there you go. If we don't hit them first, who knows what will happen? It'll just continue getting worse with the mental illness and the megalomania. There is no good choice. If you hit them conventionally, they're not going to back off. They're not going to sue for peace. They're going to attack with everything they've got, Japan and South Korea, and have a bunch of people run to the north as refugees that are already trying to get out. It's going to be a giant quagmire. If you hit them with total commitment, you will defeat the communist regime, you'll kill probably 1 million people, and then you can try to reunify and deprogram the population. If China and Russia stand down, if China and Russia don't stand down, we go into total worldwide thermonuclear World War III. This is much worse than the Cuban Missile Crisis.
You found it. It's the real.
Okay, with all that being said, people, we have to understand that North Korea is a threat that has to be confronted. Okay, we can't just sit here and let them build and build and build with their intentions of fucking with us. I mean, to be honest with you, I'm not concerned about fucking Japan or all that shit. These people need to handle their own shit. But when they're threatening us and saying, oh, well, we can hit the western seaboard, you know, like Seattle, California, with fucking nukes. And to be honest with you, I don't give a fuck about fucking California. Them fucking people are so fucking far left liberal. As much as, I mean, there's good people out there, I know that. But the point is, these people are fucking just off their rockers. I mean, but I don't want them getting hit by a fucking nuke. Alright, but imagine if that was to happen. And that's what Kim Jong-un is trying to accomplish. He's trying to increase his ICBM nukes. And you got a fucking crazy bastard. This isn't like, you know, what, you got Dennis Rodman. What we're going to send Dennis Rodman over there as a fucking mediator? What the fuck does Dennis Rodman know? The guy's a fucking Fruit Loop. At least in my opinion. Anybody that wants to dress and drag is a fucking Fruit Loop. You got some fucking screws loose. With that being said, alright. I'm gonna tie this up. If you like the video, subscribe. I would appreciate it. Like I said, the video's gonna get better in the future. Right now, I'm in my starting stages. I haven't really got the thingamajigger set up, and as you see, I'm lagging. I don't know why I'm lagging, but I'm gonna figure that out. If anybody has any suggestions or wants to send me any messages as far as how to fix the lag or whatnot, let me know. I'm currently running a Galaxy S8 as my cam. I'm running OSB as my program. And yeah, so like I said, subscribe if you like or whatnot. Till the next time, I'll be doing another one soon. I'm gonna try to be running one every day. Subscriptions are appreciated very much. because I need to get to 100 so I can get monetized. Not that I'm trying to make money out of it, but if I make money out of it, that's a little more incentive as to far as wanting to do more content, and it might increase my revenue so I can get a good webcam. Plus, I'd rather have a different mic. As you see, I'm running this. So I don't think the quality's bad, but I don't know. All right, take care. Peace out. It was good talking to you guys. All right, take care.